Hello everyone, welcome to video 4 of Devolving the Vote, and the second video looking at the party's manifesto pledges. This time I'm looking at the Scottish Liberal Democrats manifesto. Again, I have taken the bullet points from the BBC website, and I've taken the ones that most matter to me. So, here we go. And we start off with the economy. Create the conditions for 100,000 new jobs, supported by at least £1.5 billion investment, freed up by selling off Scottish Water debt, turning it into a public benefit company. Kind of like the same idea as the Tories. See the previous video. In fact, the previous video would be up there. So no, it'll be up there. No, I was right, it'll be up there. Yeah, it's up there. Deliver enterprise zones in Scotland, encouraging economic growth through a package of business support measures. Enterprise zones. I wonder what having enterprise zones would really be the key. Is encouraging business across the board better than setting little areas up? Because if you set enterprise zones up in one area, another area gets starved of potential growth because they're all going to the enterprise area. Is that really what you want? A new Science Nation Fund to boost invention and innovation. A Science Nation Fund? So, you're wanting to boost innovation and invention? Will your educational policies work for that? Offer work experience, internships, apprenticeships or substantial volunteering opportunities for young people struggling to find work. Well, volunteering is all well and good, but it should be on the backs of the people, not the government. Surely helping them volunteer than giving them places would be more beneficial. But in regards to the offers of work experience and interns and apprenticeships, yeah, fair enough. Help more Scottish businesses across the public sector contracts. Well, this would be nice, but it's down to the competition and the larger companies undercutting in these sectors. Drive Scotland forward as a world leader in renewable energy sector. Well, we have so much opportunity here. Wind farms, wave power, water power, solar power. Well, maybe not so much solar power, but we have the perfect opportunity. The land is just so much of the land not used that could be used for that, and we've got such a good coastline for it as well, so yeah, definitely. I'd love to see how that works out. Invest £250 million to deliver superfast broadband to all parts of Scotland and improve mobile phone coverage. Oh, I don't really know the figures, but I suppose it's a start in the right direction. Require every public body to ensure all services can be accessed through technology and online. Well, flexibility is the key in this day and age. We all don't have 9-to-5 jobs anymore, and being able to access services through technological means can only be a good thing. Require rail franchise to include provision of free Wi-Fi on key routes. Trains have the technology, Virgin Cross Country has them, at least it costs you. I don't see why not. I don't see why it could not be possible. I mean, internet technology is getting better as time goes on. Should be feasible to make it free, like a Wi-Fi hotspot or train. Pensioners with an annual income below £10,000 to be exempt from council tax. Oh, that's a good idea. Council tax can be very expensive for pensioners, especially those on a basic state pension. Merged boards of Historic Scotland and Scottish National Heritage. One word, or one phrase, cost cutting. But cost cutting to help strengthen this area. Both bodies, as far as I know, delve into each other's territory, so why not? Publish a white paper on localism to outline the fuller steps that can be taken to disperse power away from the centre. Central government is a blessing and a curse. This is a power to the people and a liberalistic idea. Certainly something you'd expect from the Liberal Democrats. It's a hard thing to do though. Introduce payment by results in public services where appropriate. Success in delivering the desired outcomes will be rewarded. Failure to deliver will not. Most public services are run by private companies who are in it for the money. Good idea, good way of ensuring that they actually prioritise the companies to ensure they give a good service first and profit later. Public bodies to submit their budget for the number of their employees paid more than £80,000 per year and oblige these organisations to cut that pay bill by 10%. Well, this is where cost cutting should be, on higher incomes. allocates £250 million to accelerate installation of homes and buildings in Scotland and take forward new universal home installation schemes. It's more difficult with energy saving in older homes, but if the technology could be refined in new homes, it would make it easier to transfer this idea to the older properties. So yes, I'll go with that one. Support a new generation of apprentices to become experts in installing insulation and energy efficient systems. Well, there's so many properties, as I mentioned in the previous point, that aren't energy efficient. If we have the know-how, it will help all our builds, as the era of cheap energy is really over. New support to companies developing marine, hydro and biomass renewable energy technology. Well, renewable energy is the way forward, but it is expensive as it is new, and they are working on it still. Any help, any funding, any grants that can be given would be good, and it would help in the long term. Scotland to generate the equivalent of 100% of Scotland's electricity consumption from renewable sources by 2050. It'd be great if you did this, but I do not think that even Scotland could achieve 100%. Very close to it, but there's always going to be some sort of resource that's not going to be renewable. So I don't think we could achieve this by 2025, but we certainly could get close to it if we put our minds to it. Retain Scotland's forests in public ownership. This is something that's been mooted down south, to move some of the forests in England and Wales to private maintenance companies. I think this is a sound policy, but there is ways of making it more efficient, as I don't think the status quo would be satisfactory politically in this era of cuts. Oppose construction of new nuclear power plants in Scotland while backing development of carbon capture and storage technology. Well, after the events in Japan, this could be a very well received policy. Strategy for on-street recycling. We already get recycling collection, so what can we do to bring it to this step? Interested to find out. Make ownership of an electric car a realistic ambition. I do deliveries for pizzas, and even the hybrid model would save the equivalent of about £100 in fuel a month for me. It's what I want my next car to be in a few years' time, but the technology is so expensive. I mean, I was looking at the other day, and a Toyota Auris hybrid is about £6,000 more on average than the diesel and petrol versions. It's extortionate. Develop a fully costed and timetabled plan to dual the A9 to Inverness. It is a major road up the east coast of Scotland. I think the benefits of this to the northern economy would be fantastic. So, yeah, definitely. Improve commuter transport outside major cities. This would help in the fight with traffic. People use cars more because there's no reliable regular transport system at key times during the day. It is a spiral of decline, though some investment back into this would be a good start to stop that spiral decline. When I mean a spiral decline, what I mean basically is that the services are cut because nobody's using them, and then people use more cars because the services aren't reliable enough, and they get cut more. Fairer fares charter for rail passengers. Well, rail fares are expensive, and they're getting more expensive all the time. Increase entitlement age for free bus travel from 60 to 65. This is becoming a theme with Manifesto pledges. I'll let you see the previous video up there to see what I mean. Keep up pressure on airport operators to continue to invest in snow clearing equipment. Well, the heavy snow and cold snap that we had didn't affect Scotland as much as down south. But you know what, we could be a leader for this in future, because obviously we have more tendency to have that sort of climate in the first place. Induce pupil premium for looked after children as soon as they come into care, and ensure looked after children at secondary school have access to a mentor. This is an idea that was put into practice in England and was part of the Lib Dems Manifesto at the 2010 general election. I supported it then, and I certainly support it now. Help every child to benefit from a strong start to formal learning in primary 2 onwards, with the primary 1 year in primary school treated more as an informal start to education. Well, sounds like a little like what the education authorities down south do, although formal education at 5 never really did me any harm. Review protections afforded to teaching staff accused of mistreating pupils to prevent their careers being wrecked by false allegations. In this culture of litigation and suing people nowadays that we have, the respect factor for teachers is not as great. Yes, there was some bad eggs in the past, but there's a lot more people being made scapegoats now for children's bad behaviour than there was in the past. This is something that was lacking from the Tories' proposals, and this is something I've been looking for, because they were talking about in their proposals about helping people, not helping, was it underprivileged people, not others, people with learning difficulties and learning problems in the education system. And this is like the flip side of the coin. This is the other side, the teachers and the support they need to help do their job. And this is something that the Lib Dems seem to have got and the Tories don't in their manifestos. Keep university education free, with no tuition fees and no graduate contribution. The Lib Dems helped bring this policy in Scotland with Labour in 1999. Good to see they're not U-turning on this up here, but then again, there's less chance of the Tories being the biggest party in Scotland, I'm sorry to say. So there's not going to be so much chance of argy-bargy in that respect. I think it was painful for the Lib Dems to change their mind at that, but it was a necessary evil of being part of coalition down south, I'm afraid. And even though I didn't like the idea at the time, and I think the protests were a bit over the top, it's something that you have to sometimes sacrifice when you go into coalition. Create stronger local colleges with a radically enhanced role to promote wider entry into higher education through further education. So basically using the colleges to get people to do hires more. They do tend to be more vocational, so this would be great to help people get to the next level of further education, universities and so forth. So yes, I do like that policy quite a bit. New national objective on obesity. Well, from someone who's losing weight after being so close to that bracket of society, I like this idea. I need to find out what the actual present objective is to be on obesity, but obviously it doesn't seem to be what the Lib Dems like. New target for urgent referral for cancer diagnosis, with every patient to see a specialist within 2 weeks. I thought there was a target already for that. It's obviously not quick enough, and the cancer is a major killer in Scotland, so I will go in this one. You make it quicker and save more lives, then definitely. Retain NHS 24 helpline but improve out-of-hours care across Scotland with a particular focus on rural and remote areas, and put GPs back at the centre of the service. Well, this is a similar idea to the previous pledge from the Tories that I read out in the last video, and it does seem to be a bit more detailed, so that would be worth looking at and worth trying if they get an opportunity. Guarantee access to an NHS dentist for everyone who wants it. I wonder if this policy is something that is happening in every party's manifesto. We'll soon see. Protect 3 personal care for the elderly. Well, this has been a great policy. It's only been pledged as is under threat, with the cuts on the horizon to the Scottish budget. Support UK-wide measures to tackle the sale of alcohol at unacceptably low cost. This would be more duty and minimum pricing then. Round 2 for Scotland. New system of grants are worth up to £10,000 to bring Scotland's 70,000 empty homes back into use, provided owners allow a housing association to rent it out for 10 years. I didn't realise there was 70,000 empty homes that people aren't living in on a day-to-day basis. Are they all salvageable? Pilot Home on the Farm initiative to allow conversions of agricultural buildings for housing. Barn conversions. Oh, they could do that in Scotland. Obviously not as easily if they're suggesting that policy. Review home information survey packs to evaluate their effectiveness, but retain energy performance certificate. So you're not scrapping them then, Lib Dems, you're just going to review them. Who actually reads them? Consider shared services for emergency services, but oppose single national police or fire services. The emergency services are already in big regions of control. We don't really need them any bigger. That's centralisation, and it's going against the grain. Would it be cost cutting again for that? I would think is why that's policies be put up there. Ensure victims receive compensation immediately after it's awarded, with the state responsible for the recovery from the offender rather than the victim. So there is a delay in payments, and obviously it's a bit more difficult if the victim does it than if the authority does it. So that's not right. Really, they should be paying, if they're being asked to give damages and compensation, they should pay it straight away. I know sometimes it's difficult, but why should the victim have more stress of actually trying to chase the payments when it really shouldn't be their job? Extend legal marriage to gay couples and civil partnerships to heterosexual couples. It's civil partnership at the moment, but the word marriage means so much more to gay couples, and of course civil partnership, it's just wording really. Civil partnership is marriage and all but name, but that name marriage can make so much of a difference to homosexual partners. And to have civil partnerships, you know, why not? Why not have this equality? Work with the UK government to review the blanket ban on gay men donating blood. Well, this is a throwback to the height of AIDS, isn't it, in the 1980s and early 90s. Surely a lot of gay men out there who are perfectly able to give blood and do not have the HIV virus at all. Maintain free access to Scotland's national museums. Well, that's two parties that have had that in the Manifesto pledge. Thoughts of this being taken away must be on the cards somewhere. And finally, support 2014 as the second year of homecoming for those people around the world with Scottish ancestry. Well, I don't really know if the first year of homecoming in 2009 did much. There wasn't really much covered in my area. Might have been in Edinburgh and places like that, but oh, I don't know about that one. I thought I'd mention it anyway because it's an interesting idea. Well, that's all the Lib Dem policies I'm going to go through. Now, you'll be thinking that I'm posting a few of these videos this week. Well, I've got 3 more to do, and the plan is to post them by the end of the week. Until then, see you later.